to go vote. Everybody needs to go vote. Oh, we
You
don't need to
can't
vote?
yet. No,
Oh,
you
it's the
can't
waiting
yet.
period.
Yeah, it's like I think it's about 2 more, a little bit
I
more.
always forget about that waiting period. I don't know why it gets me. The last couple of DAOs I have been in, I guess they didn't have a waiting period when stuff went live. It just was like, hey, it's live now for 2 weeks. So waiting period. Everybody hold your horses. Don't get too excited. You can't vote yet. But there is a proposal that is up. So you should go check it out in anticipation. Make sure you're ready to cast your vote when the time comes. But it is for a token delegation program. So there's a discussion on the Discord. If you haven't followed along, it was pretty intense. We really dove into it, which is the fun thing to do in a DAO. And we got to the nitty gritty, and we figured it out. And we came to a good compromise that everybody was happy with, and that is the beauty of just taking the time to work through it. And so the proposal's up. We are going to be delegating tokens to a variety of people, not just stewards, but also members of the community based on a ranking of governance activity. So going forward, Stella has created an amazing leaderboard with her unparalleled vibe coding skills that have replaced her need for sleep, apparently. So she whipped that together for us. So thank you, Stella, for making that. I don't know if you want to share some words about the experience or...
The experience. Yeah, actually, the experience is fucked right now because for some reason the Tally API is not allowing us to refresh data, so I have to look into it. There's always something to fix. Why is there always something to fix? But also, the Tally API has been a little bit difficult to work with, probably because there's not enough information out there just yet. Troubleshooting information, or not like regular documentation, because I fed the entire documentation to Figma Make, and then there was, so they have their own sandbox and everything. So I had to navigate between the Figma Make AI and the sandbox doing stuff, and it was like a lot of troubleshooting right from the beginning, because the page was obviously not hard to set up. The ENS implementation was like literally one prompt and it was there. So that was so much easier. But yeah, the Tally API is not as easygoing with these things. So it seems right now it cannot refresh the data. So I have to look into that. Although we do not really have like a proposal that has been like finished voting on, to factor that into anything. But yeah, I guess need to look at this. What is Will T doing here? Will T, aren't you at East Denver chauffeuring people around from the community? What are you doing here? But also nice that you're here.
Is he unlocking while driving?
No, I think
welcome, Will T. Yeah, he must be driving.
This is a DAO call, is it not? Is this a DAO call?
It is.
Is this the unlocked DAO call?
That's what I've been told.
Have I been unlocked?
It's like, are you there? Is anyone there?
Yeah. So, wow. Yeah. Thanks for that update on the vibe coding adventures. But yeah, we appreciate the hard work, even though things always take more effort than we hope them to. But I think it'll be really helpful. Oh yeah, go.
Also, I want to give a little bit of credit to Danny, because Danny actually was the one who pushed the proposal up.
Nice.
So
nice
thanks
work,
for that, Danny.
Yeah. Credit where credit is due. It takes a village to keep a DAO functioning. That is for sure. And that is the point of the leaderboard, is getting some recognition to the village members who participate in keeping things running. So if you vote regularly on Tally, you have a chance of earning token wow, I can't even say it. I'm so excited. Token delegations from the DAO. Is that a tongue twister? Tally sells she's by the seashore. But yeah, so be active on governance now. There might actually be, token delegations isn't money. You can't buy anything with it, but you can cast your votes and make your opinion a little bit heavier. And that's how important governance is to Unlock, that we're willing to just give people more governance weight simply because they're active and expressing an opinion. We may have to change the structure of the leaderboard in the future, but this is step one, right? We have to start somewhere. This is reputation earning governance weight. So
actually, I also asked, this is good information, maybe also for Danny. I actually asked, God, my brain is really not working at all anymore. I asked Julian if it will be easy, right, to push this page up on the official website. Because right now we're not redoing the website, but I was like, okay, it would probably be good to have it up there one way or another. And he said, easy not, but he said, like, we can probably create a subdomain and you can independently publish it to there, right? And so I was like, oh, that's interesting, because I know that flow by now, right? So it's tech stack that I've been using for creatorpricing.com as well, which is you essentially push from Figma to GitHub and from GitHub through Netlify and let it point towards the domain that you want to have it pointed to. So that could be an option. So he could make space for it. He can sadly not be here with us today because he has kiddo duty again. But yeah, probably the next week.
Yeah, that's good to know. Exciting that it's possible. Good opportunity. It would be cool to have that up there.
It made me think, right? If this is how the whole thing could be built, so if we rethink the website, and if all of us, like, who, obviously it always needs to have the same branding, the same header, the same footer, no? Something like this. But it means that, all of us, that we have the skills, we can work on a portion that we feel is important, right? So if you think about the community portion, right, that could be something that you or Anupa are structuring and telling me how, like, what should be on there, right? Then, we could have one that is about, marketing and communications and all of these things, right? So I was thinking, like, maybe, like, if it could really work that way, right, we can make this work in a whole different way than until here. And it could create also an example of how ideally in a community a website is built, right? So you have these independent elements. You have one central entity that has to create the subdomains, of course, right? That is just something that we technologically cannot, like, get around, I think, for now.
Yet.
Or at least I wouldn't know exactly yet how to, right? But, like, on the other hand, it made me feel quite excited because, like, okay, maybe we can build modular websites as a community. That's pretty, I don't know, I thought it was cool, but also I'm lost in this, as you can tell. So don't listen to me. Okay, we'll shut up now.
I think that we should listen to you because what you're saying makes sense. The idea of a community contribution, forming the actual website. It reminds me of the concept of the headless brand. I don't know if you've read that little blurb. Who wrote it escapes me now, but this idea of I think it was about nouns, if I remember correctly. But yeah, and, it's a new concept of having a brand. Yeah, Unlock has its branding, and it we worked really hard. You guys all put a lot of effort into kind of crafting this image of what Unlock is, but that came from the community. Those were, the community was involved. All the artwork has been collaboratively voted on and approved and all that kind of stuff. And I think this is just the next step, right? Like iterations. We have another opportunity to expand with a single community member, because, right, Stella, you're not even a steward anymore. You're just a community member. And yet you created this leaderboard for us that could go up on our website. And that's a path that any community member can walk. So thanks for showing the way.
No problem. I don't want to say I haven't had ulterior motives. I'm obviously hoping to get some up tokens out of it. But
hey, as you should, right? No good deed should go unpunished. And so up tokens, I think, are definitely in the cards. Why shouldn't they be? We're sitting on a nice little treasury of them, and they should be given out for good deeds.
Actually, one of the whales got back to me that I had reached out to for the last vote. And apparently he's like a lot of people right now. He literally told me he's taking a rest from Web3. So he's taking some time from it, right? And I think that's actually how a lot of OGs are feeling right now. I can even feel it in my bones, right? Like all of that is happening. It just sometimes makes me want to step back and be like, you know what? Why don't I not just lead a quiet, nice life? Right? Why am I doing this to myself? At another, I just can't, right? But I understand the people who do. And he said, like, look, if you want, I can delegate you my voting tokens, right? Which means I can outvote all of you at once. But I'm not going to do it, obviously. And so, anyways, he offered to me. I told him, like, of course, I would appreciate it, but also, like, he should take his time to consider, because we might not always agree on, like, I think he used to have sometimes very contrasting opinions to mine, right? So I don't want him to delegate, because, like, at least not lightheartedly, right? Without giving it a second thought, because some of the decisions might not be the ones that he would take. And but this is where I stand with him. But he got back to me, and you saw Chris coming back to us in the chat. And I didn't know that he had tokens, actually. I didn't know. Otherwise, I would have reached out to him as well, but I didn't know. But I think we found, thanks to Gosman's commentary, I think we found a really good solution with the delegation. I think it's quite fair, and it's only 2 million tokens, which means, between 7 people is not that crazy, right? And still leave enough room for other voices, I believe. And also those 7 people will not always agree on everything. I'm fairly certain.
That's the beauty, I think, of the mechanism, is that it's, rewarding people who have opinions, not rewarding people who have specific opinions. And that's a key starting point, I think, to governance, is just feeling like your opinion matters. And so if you've been regularly voicing your opinion, here's the DAO acknowledging, like, hey, you know what, your opinion does matter, regardless of what it is. And you can change your opinion anytime, and that's not going to affect your, delegation. The only thing that's going to affect your delegation is if other people don't like your opinion, and it motivates them to come start voting because they don't like the way you're voting. And then maybe they can get some of your token delegations because now they're more active than you are, because you've gotten calm and comfortable in your little high throne of token delegations. I don't know. I'm just imagining the story. We'll see how it plays out. But it's good to know that we can actually pass voting. So the real kicker is that the multi-sig is going to vote on this vote with the tokens that they self-delegated before we send them on to the Ichi Vault, where they're destined to be. So that will happen as soon as this vote is over. But for now, we're going to have to hold on to them in the multi-sig, and the stewards are going to vote and abstain on this vote, so that it's still up to the DAO to decide if they want to support this delegation. Whatever you decide will get passed. If you say no, then we're back to the drawing board, and we've got to hold on to the multi-sig tokens a little bit longer and draw that out. So, I mean, not like we're, holding the vote hostage or anything, but that's just like, that's what's going to happen. If that's what's necessary, obviously there's no problem that if people don't like this idea, then vote no. But at this point, you've had plenty of opportunity to express your disinterest, so hopefully you would have by now. But yeah, and we'll just go from there. So once this is done, then we can hopefully get back to business as usual with passing proposals, like getting people paid for all the work that they've been doing. That would be nice. Speaking of treasuries and paying people, unfortunately, it sounds like Treasure Corp pulled the plug. So there is no Treasure Corp for now. I don't know if the message was vague, apparently, but yeah. So probably not the worst news in the world, because we were kind of like, can we afford Treasure Corp right now? Because we just had to, tighten up the budget a little bit. So that's money we don't have to spend that we kind of weren't sure we wanted to anyway, which is good in some senses, I guess. But we'll just have to figure out kind of what we're going to do. We'll see what Andrew comes up with. He's a wizard. He'll figure something out. And yeah, you already mentioned next thing on the agenda was the newsletter feedback. I thought that was interesting that Chris felt like it wasn't very clear in the newsletter that we needed people to come vote on governance. So yeah, I'll think about that. If anybody has suggestions in general about how to improve the newsletter, I'm always open for ideas. But I'll definitely. I mean, we have the governance part kind of at the bottom, so maybe we can move that to the top and like make it a little bit more of a like bright call to action.
I was thinking something very similar. Maybe we have a TLDR on the top. You know, like TLDR, just like 2 sentences on what went down this week or this month, right? And almost like an executive summary. And then have underneath the action items. And then you put a divider line, and then you're like, for those of you who are like actually interested and want to know about it in more depth, right? But I never thought about this earlier either, because Tally actually does have an email notification tool. So I have just added my email, and I get notifications about active votes or closing votes or all of that stuff. So yeah, but I think might be worth a try,
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, so good feedback. We'll experiment and see. Oh, sorry, it sounds like David's having some audio problems. I don't know. Hopefully, Will or Danny, can you guys hear us all right?
Yeah, I got you fine.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. I'm just talking to myself the whole time. Nobody can hear me. I mean, Stella, you've been talking to me like you can hear me, so I figured it was okay. But you never know.
I was just pretending like I could hear you.
Oh, thanks. I guess.
You
So
can
anyway,
always check the audio from YouTube on an alternate device.
Oh yeah, good call. Yeah. Oh, but that gets weird. It gets like this dissonance thing because I hear the past coming into the future, and I get all confused with what's happening, and I start listening to myself, and then I start talking back to myself in the past. It's bad. So I got to be careful going down that rabbit hole. But back to Unlock DAO. Stella, did you have any updates since Cece's on vacation about the content calendar, or do we just save that for next week? You're still muted.
Actually, we're not streaming. Something bugged out on us.
No.
Yeah, it's very sad. So my connection is working correctly, but the Versa is working correctly, but the serverless function has timed out. So I have a feeling this is on Huddle's side. I will send this to. I will just end the stream because it doesn't make sense to stream something that's not actually being streamed.